Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Last week, we did an outlook of how November played out and forecasted what we expect into December. Now, although there hasn't been much of a move in the last week, the market is really setting up nicely. There's some great setups to look out for in the next coming week. Looks like that December rally is on the cards after all. Right, before we get started, if you'd like to contact us, you can check out all our videos on YouTube. Under the description of all the videos on YouTube, you'll find our contact details. We are currently running a Black Friday special that ends tomorrow that I spoke about last week. A number of people have taken advantage of the special. Tomorrow, actually the 1st of December, that is when the special ends. The special ends on the 1st of December, and our last course of this year starts tomorrow. The timing of the course, it starts at 18:30 GMT. We run for about 3 hours for the whole 2 weeks. So now when you make a purchase of the course, you get a full recording of the course. That means you can start watching the course at your earliest convenience, and when you attend the live course, you get to interact, and we spend the whole 2 weeks together. Right, so the rest of the contact details, that is my contact details there. You can check out my email, my WhatsApp number. You can use that for both Telegram and WhatsApp. Telegram channel, you can check it out there. That is where I post the live webinar links for the videos, or for this for these videos. TradingView link, as well as our website. This is the website link that you use to purchase the course. You purchase through the website. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. All the charts that we post up before and after, they are posted on all our social media pages. Now, there are a number of people who have purchased the course over the last couple of days, or especially over the weekend. If you have purchased the course, we will respond to your emails, and we will make sure that you don't miss the course tomorrow. 18:30 GMT, we start last course of the year. If you still want to join, you can go into the website and purchase the course. The special ends on the 1st of December if you want to take advantage of that. Now, let's get started. What do we expect into December? This is the last week of November. We're going into December. Usually the first couple of weeks, first 2-3 weeks of December, the market moves move with quite significant volume. So now let's get started with what we expect. Now you can refer some of the analysis to last week, because what we forecasted last week has played out exactly as we expected. Now let's start with the US dollar pairs. We'll start with Euro US dollar. Let's go to Euro US dollar on the daily, see what we're expecting here. And I'll refer to our charts that our members have access to on the website. Let's have a look. On our website, we will look at US dollar pairs. Let's look at US dollar pairs. We'll look at Euro US dollar, and the DXY first. Let's look at Euro US dollar and what our structure is here. Now, Euro US dollar, our structure is as follows. So currently, we have been expecting this move as three waves down, 1, 2, 3 up. From here, we expected a 3-wave move to the downside, which has not happened as yet. So we have adjusted the structure. We're still expecting that move. It just has not played out as yet. But the structure that we are looking now at is this. It's still the bigger corrective structure. It's just making a bigger corrective structure. That's why you see this forecast from the 22nd of November. We expected a bit more upside before the drop actually comes on euro. So it has been crawling up around this level, the euro. We may even take the top, right, and then come down here with this move. Then we'll be building up this corrective structure. So let's just show the corrective structure in the red degree. The corrective structure will be this WXY structure that you see in the green degree here, WXY. We have not completed the Y here, that the X here. That's what we're expecting to complete around this area, right? So let's clear this and look at the DXY. Now, the interesting thing, if you look at the euro, it has not broken this level as yet, and that is a critical level. If you look at the DXY has already broken that level, so which means we may be in for a reversal on the US dollar pairs. Let's look at the DXY. So if you look at the DXY, we'll look at the live chart. Let's first look at the focus now. On the DXY, As you can see here, last week we had not quite broken here. If I draw this in a straight line, we are currently around these levels on the DXY, where we can actually get a bounce to the upside. Now let's have a look at the live DXY chart here. This is the DXY. Let's get the playlist off here. Let's look at it on the daily. And the daily, let's just get this one cleared. I want to get my annotation tool in the right position here. So if you look at the daily DXY, very interesting, similar to Euro US dollar, just the inverse of Euro US dollar. We are looking at this as 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves to the downside, where we are currently here. We have now just tagged this level on the DXY. That is why we're expecting a bit of a bounce. So this bounce could build this corrective structure where we're going to have one more down. So the US dollar pairs, or rather the dollar pairs, we're expecting a bit of a bounce to the upside to this level. We are currently at this critical level. Let's wait for confirmation of that move. So let's look at the lower degrees now on the 4 hour on the DXY. So that's what we have on the DXY. Looking very interesting. Looks like we're going to get that bounce. Just about to take this low here. Okay, we've actually tagged. My drawing there is not straight. Let's draw a straight line here. So we have already tagged this level here. Let's see if we're going to get a break below this. We may get this move to the upside here, and we'll be looking at this flat correction that you were looking at on the daily. So let's look out for this move on the US dollar pairs. Right, so let's go through the rest of the US dollar pairs. Right, so that was the DXY and the euro, pound US dollar. Let's go again to the website. So pound US dollar, we are looking at this corrective structure. Looks like it's about to play out now. That may be very good setup for the next week. So watch out for the drop on pound US dollar. We may have completed this 3-wave structure here. It's a WXY corrective structure. Obviously, I'm just showing you the last leg here. It's not just, you don't just come to a chart and look at the last bit, but we have got a full analysis of this pair, and we are looking for this one to make downside here. Is it ready yet? Our indicator will tell us when this is ready for a drop. Okay, I'm going to show you, when we look at pound AUD, I'm going to show you how we forecast and how we use the indicator to confirm. So you'll have a forecast with the Elliott Wave structure, but the indicator will tell you whether your forecast is right and whether you should execute the trade. I'm going to show you how we do that. Maybe I should do that now, because if we get there, I might forget. Let me just show you what the forecast was on pound AUD. Now, pound AUD, I know we're just jumping up here now, but I want you to look at how the indicator works. If you remember, go to last week's video. Just click on pound AUD and see what the analysis is here. I have detailed what the forecast was. Let's go to pound AUD. So if you just click on the timestamps, we'll put up the timestamps a couple of hours after the video has been uploaded. If you click on pound AUD, this was last week. This is what we showed last week. Here, I just want to show you how we look at the indicator. So I was showing the view that we had forecasted. So I indicated we had forecasted upside, but the indicator is telling us downside at that specific point. Now, if we look at pound AUD now, we've already made this drop, the current drop that we've indicated last week, because the indicator tells us when we are wrong. So it should supersede the Elliott Wave structure, because and I've shown exactly how the indicator works in one of the videos. I will do another session maybe in the next year, just to illustrate what the difference is between Elliott Wave structure and the indicator and the integration thereof. So that is how pound AUD has played out in the last week. This is where we are currently. We'll come to pound AUD. I just wanted to show you that demonstration. We had a different forecast, but the indicator at this point said we are going to come down, and you've seen exactly how we forecasted that. So let's go through the rest of the US dollar pairs. So you cannot just trade the Elliott Wave structure alone without that indicator. Right, so let's look at the rest of the pairs. So pound US dollar, we've already looked at. We're looking for downside. US dollar CHF. Now, if we're looking for a bit of downside on the euro, we'll be expecting US dollar CHF to make a bit of a bounce. We have not got any confirmation as yet, but we're looking at this as 3 waves down. So pound or rather US dollar chief, may be making a bit of a move to the upside as follows. So we'll be looking for this move here, right? So wait for that confirmation. It has to break out of this structure to confirm that we're going to get that move to the upside. That is US dollar chief. US dollar CAD is this similar as well. So we're expecting US dollar CAD to have, it has made a move to the upside. Last week we were expecting this one to be a three-wave corrective structure and a bounce. We have not got that as yet, but looking at the strength in the dollar on the US dollar in the coming week, we may be getting this bounce. It may not happen here. We may get this one to take this low here first. So we may get this one to take the low and then make that bounce. But let's wait for that confirmation on US dollar CAD. All right, so let me just look at the structure on the US dollar CAD structure on the side here so you can see the sequence. So let's look at the US dollar. So US dollar CAD, that is the structure. This is what we had last week. We were looking for this to bounce this corrective structure. As you can see, it is continuing to the downside. If it takes the low, that's why where you see the red line here, if it takes that low, that means we are going to invalidate that move to the upside. At the moment, the setup and the forecast is still valid until we take this low. Why do we invalidate here? If we know anything about corrective structure or about Elliott wave structures, if you look at this, we've got a pulse move to the upside. If we take this low here, that invalidates down move side because that has made a corrective structure, and that's a continuation pattern to the downside. That is why we will invalidate. So you need to know your invalidation areas. Our members have got that on all our charts. Right, so that is US dollar CAD. Look out for that. Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar has been showing strength. We've been talking about this Audi strength and the New Zealand strength, and it has been prevalent in the last couple of weeks. So we're looking at this one as three waves down. We're looking at this one to have made the three waves here, and we wanted the drop to happen here. That drop doesn't look like it's ready yet. That's why we're still crawling to the upside here. We may take this top here, and we'll expect this one to make a flat and then upside. So that will be a corrective structure like this. That will be a WXY or an ABC corrective structure, depending on how the structure plays out there. So then we'll be looking for this corrective structure to play out to the upside. Now, the reason why we're expecting downside is that if this breaks to the upside, if it breaks to the upside without taking the low, this corrective structure will not make sense. So we'll have to really look at what we're getting there. So the structure that makes sense is for these to come back down first. Let's do this one again. Annotation tool needs to be at the top. So this needs to come down first to make an Elliott wave corrective structure. So we only work with Elliott wave patterns. So if that does not happen, that will not be an Elliott wave corrective pattern. There's a possibility that this is making a three-wave structure, but this three-wave structure looks awkward and does not look right. If it is this structure, then that means we're going to see a bit of a pullback here, and this one makes a flat correction here and then upside. But we'll be watching that to find that confirmation. New Zealand US dollar. So New Zealand US dollar is different because it has already broken to the upside. So because of that New Zealand and Audi strength, we'll be looking for this one to just make a bit of a continuation to the upside here. It's risky to buy at this level. As you can see, this is making higher highs and we may have divergence there. Let me see if we've got divergence. Yes, we do have divergence. So even if this is not the reversal, the pullback is imminent there on New Zealand and you can actually buy the pullback. Do not buy it at current levels. Look for the pullback on New Zealand. US dollar ZAR. Let's have a look at the US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR looks very interesting. Now, if you look at US dollar ZAR, I've been looking at this. I'm looking for around 1470 for a reversal, and that will take us back to the all-time high. So currently, this on the 4-hour, we're looking for this to bounce back to the upside. Will we get the bounce and then continuation to the downside to around the 1474 area that we're looking at? And the reason why we're looking for that area, I'm going to show you on the daily why we're looking for that area on US dollar ZAR. We will wait for a reversal around that area. Now, this is US dollar ZAR. This is the corrective structure. We've made a move to the downside like this. We've made a pullback and we were making this move to the downside. Around this area, this is where I expect either a reaction or a move to the all-time highs. So that move may not happen in a straight line. We may get a three-wave corrective structure, come back down and move to the upside. But we should have a reaction around the 1474 area on US dollar ZAR. Let's look at the rest. Pound yen. Now, pound yen, you just have to look at last week's video as well for the forecast because it's playing out exactly as forecasted. Almost 90% of the pairs that we forecasted last week are playing out. Pound yen rather. We're looking at the yen pairs now. Pound yen, we expected pound yen to drop from current levels. It made a bit of a push to the upside. Now you can start looking for downside here on pound yen to at least around these levels, okay, or even lower. So we're getting this move to the downside on pound yen. Let me just go up to the website and see if we've got the chart from the last week still up. Let's have a look here. Let's look at the yen pairs. Pound yen 4 hour. As you can see, this was the forecast on pound yen. This is still the chart. Nothing has changed. We're still focusing that pound yen is going to make a drop, but it made a bit of a push to the upside. So now you can start looking for this. Let's just hide videos here. Right. That is pound yen, and that is what we're getting now. We've made a push up here. We're coming down here. It is still intact, and this chart was posted on the 22nd of November before the current pound yen move. What is pound yen doing now? It is making a move to the downside. That will possibly be this. We could come and break lower on pound yen. So let's watch that. US dollar yen. US dollar yen, we've shown a detailed structure here in the higher degree last week. Let's have a look at it now. I'm going to show it on the 4 hour. Let's get this one off here so you can see the whole structure. This is the structure. I'm looking at this whole corrective structure on US dollar yen. So I've indicated that we are looking at this as a 3-wave structure, and this current move could be a whole running flat. Now, if that is a running flat, we could be getting another 3-wave corrective structure like this. So if we look at this, that could be the lower degree here. We're going to have this, we're going to have this pullback and a move to the downside. If you're looking at this structure here, I'm putting in as a zigzag. It does not have to be a zigzag. It can be any of the Elliott Wave corrective structures. Now, we'll be looking for this to be a WXY. That is what we've shown last week. So here we could be in this lower degree here. Could be pulling back up here and maybe a bit of a bounce here with the DXY short upside that we're expecting. We'll be looking at this lower degree red here. So that's what we're looking at on US dollar yen. Let's look at the rest of the pairs. Euro, let's have a look at the euro. Euro has changed the structure that we were looking at initially. If you've been watching the videos, we've been looking at euro as a 1, 2, 3 and looking for this to drop from current levels and give us this structure. Looks like that is not ready. That move is not ready as yet. We're getting a continuation pattern here on the euro that will come and take around the 26 area. That move could result in a move like this, and then we get a structure like this. Then we're going to have to update the whole structure because we could be having 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, and then another 1, 2, 3 down. That means the euro will not drop as expected. We're going to have this corrective structure. Currently, the next immediate move on the euro, expect this upside here. How are we looking at this? These are not just lines. There's a structure here. It's 3 waves down, W, 3 waves up, X, 3 waves down, Y. That is the expectation there on the euro. CHF yen also showing upside. CHF yen is a lot clearer because the structure, we can see the structure, it has reversed here. We're looking for this to come and take the top here. If we take the top there, we could be getting this structure. Then we've got these 3 waves. If we've got these 3 waves, we've got a complex corrective structure here that will give us a move up, correction, and a move to the upside. Then we've got a bigger white degree structure here, just like the euro. Then we expect upside. Then that will be your ABC corrective structure in the white degree. I'm not going to label the rest. That is the expectation. What is the expectation now? Is for this to come and take this top here. That is CHF. CAD yen. So CAD yen, let's have a look at CAD yen. We could be getting a move to the upside. It's showing us continuation pattern to the upside here, possibly to come and retest this top here. Let's have a look here. Structurally, what we're seeing here is this move. And we may get CAD yen to do this because of the weakness in the CAD. All right, so let's see how CAD yen is going to play out. We need to wait for this confirmation. If this is going to push to the upside, we're going to need to see a clear break above this. Then that's going to invalidate the structure that we are looking at on CAD yen. New Zealand yen, as indicated, New Zealand is pushing up and up. The New Zealand pairs are all bullish. Now we're looking for this to be a corrective structure and then upside. We're actually looking for these to come and retest this top here, make one more down before we make a move to the upside. But it looks like we're not going to get that. We're just going to get continuation patterns to the upside on the New Zealand. Let me just have a look here on the structure, what we focused on the New Zealand yen. Let's have a look on the 4 hour. So that is this is actually the latest one. We were just expecting continuation to the upside. So this was updated when we saw the pulse move there, that we're not going to get a move to the downside. We're going to get just continuation to the upside. That is New Zealand yen, AUD yen, similar. Now, AUD yen is giving us a continuation to the pattern to the upside. But let's have a look at this structure currently. Even if we're expecting this to be a continuation pattern, does not mean that it's ready yet. This looks like it's giving us a complex correction in the on the 4-hour structure like this. We're going to expect continuation to the upside like this. That is an ABC corrective structure with a complex pattern there, following this bigger corrective structure. Now, the fact that we're correcting at current levels, that means we may still see further upside on AUD yen. So if we see a bit of a drop on AUD yen, we'll be looking to buy again from around these levels. Right, so very clear on the yen pairs. Let's look at gold. Now, gold, go to last week's video, how we detailed the forecast before the US elections and how we expected the gold to react to the US elections and the results thereof. We forecasted that gold was going to drop like this. It's going to make a move to the upside, and it's going to drop like that. So this is how we showed that on last week's video. If you just go and click on XAU US dollar on the timestamp, you'll see the exact how exactly we forecasted gold. Sadly, I get a lot of inboxes of people looking for advice when they're in bad trades. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not trying to expose you. I'm just trying to caution people not to take signals that are not backed by anything. So this person was in a gold trade and they were advised to buy at around 1860. And if you remember, and if you've been watching these videos, you will not have you will not have bought gold at 1860. Let's have a look here at gold. What did we forecast? This is the forecast from a couple of weeks back before the US elections and what we expected gold to play out as. Right, so this is the move. This is not in hindsight. What we're saying here is we saw all the moves. One move to the downside, that was the expectation. Move to the upside, that was the expectation. We are currently in this move. All right, so last week I showed exactly how that has played out. I'm going to play this clip a bit so you can see what the forecast was. I'm not annotating. That is the video playing out from last week showing how we forecasted gold. So we're looking for that three-wave move to the downside and three-wave move to the upside. That's showing how the move played out, and it has played out exactly as we expected. We're still looking for continuation pattern around these levels. All right, let me just push it a bit further so you can see. So last week, we detailed how the current move that happened in the last week from around 1860, this is where the person was advised to sell, to buy from. I don't know what that strategy is backed up on, but if you had watched this video, you would not have lost money. The person was in over 20,000 US dollar negative loss. Okay, so we were expecting still for gold to continue to the downside, and indeed we have come down from that level and we have dropped. We indicated that we're going to have a bit of a push to the upside and then the drop. Okay, that was last week. Now let's continue to the with our moves with our analysis here. So that was gold, and that is what we expected of gold. So even when we were here, this is where we got the setup. Our members got this setup for a move to the downside. Where are we now? About over over $150 move on gold from last time here, from 1880 to about 1787. That's about a $97 move like that. Easy profits. Now, I've also indicated what we're expecting going forward and into December on gold. Let's see how this is going to play out. I'm going to take this off and do a bit of a detailed analysis here so you can have a look at this when you do your analysis. So gold, we looked at this as you've already seen on that video. This was a three-wave move to the downside, three-wave move to the upside. We're expecting another three waves. So last week I indicated that this is not the bigger degree. We're expecting that to be a lower degree like this. We've got a pulse move down here. We've got a triangle there. This is the triangle here. This was the triangle. That's why we're calling that as a three. We've got three waves there. We've got W, X, Y. Now, I said last week, we are looking at this only as a single move. Any pullback will be just to complete this structure to the downside. So gold may get you a deeper corrective structure, does not mean that will be a reversal. It will still give you a move to the downside, and you will get this as a WXY corrective structure. All right, so keep an eye on that. Don't lose money. All right, don't lose money unnecessarily. Don't take signals that have got no backup or strategies that are trusted. So we use both the Elliott Wave sequence and a very powerful indicator to confirm our trade setups. Right, so that is gold. And silver, exactly the same. We also looked at silver the same time as gold. Let's have a look at silver now. So this is silver. Silver, we saw the 3 waves to the downside, just like gold, 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Now we are on a move to the downside. Let's see here. If it breaks lower than this, then we may see a bit of a bounce here, and then we can have, just like gold, WXY corrective structure. All right, so if you see a bounce on either gold or silver, that will be a continuation pattern for more downside. Not ready for upside as yet. All right, if you're on a gold buy, just note that we're still going to see some more downside. Oil, we're looking at about 60 level, continuation to the upside. This made a move like this. I've shown the two alternatives in the last week and how we expected oil to play out. This is 3 waves to the downside. Has played out all the 3 waves here, confirmed upside, continuation pattern to the upside. It's making another continuation pattern to the upside, so you can keep buying oil all the way up to around 60 area. Right, let's go into the pound pairs now. Pound chief now, but the pound pairs look like they're about to drop. And look out for a trade of the week here on euro pound. So the pound pairs, this is pound chief now, just like pound US dollar. Pound chief looks like it's about to drop now with this 3 wave corrective structure. That is a W, that is a X, that is a Y, and we're looking for this to drop. This is WXY. We're looking for this one to continue to the downside. Okay, so you need to get a entry here according to the strategy that you use. We've got our own strategy and our entry strategy. If you've got one, you need to use that. That is pound chief. Pound Audi, I've shown you how this one in the beginning, how we detailed pound Audi last week, 1, 2, 3, and how the indicator works. Last week I indicated, you can check that video, that we were expecting pound to keep pushing up higher, and the structure that we were expecting, that structure did not play out. Now pound, we expect it to play out like this as forecasted last week with adjustment. That is pound Audi. We're expecting continuation to the downside. Now this one is a very interesting one because we've been looking at this since this corrective structure started, and I've indicated that we're looking at this as a complex correction and move to the upside. Look for continuation patterns to the downside. If you go again to the video, all these setups, we focus them before they happen. If you go to pound CAD again, the same thing. Let's go to pound CAD. Same thing we're expecting here. Pound CAD, as you can see, that is before the drop. You don't see the drop there on the video. And I indicated the same thing that I'm showing you today, that we're expecting a move to the upside, maybe a bit of a push, pushes up to about 74, pinpointed exactly where we expect it to reverse. And that is how it has now played out in the last week. We already have this drop that we're expecting to continue to the downside. That is pound CAD. Right, let's look at the rest. Pound New Zealand, I was expecting pound New Zealand to make a bounce around these levels, but looking at how pound Audi is playing out, we're not going to get that bounce. Looks like pound New Zealand is going to continue to the downside. Look out for continuation patterns to the downside. So upside is invalidated on pound New Zealand. Let's look at the euro pairs. Now, if you're looking at this, this is very interesting. Euro pound. So it looks like the pound pairs, all those pairs that have got the pound as the base currency, are looking for a drop. Now there are two interesting scenarios here. Let's check them out. So we've got 3 waves down here, we've got 3 waves up, we've got 3 waves to the downside. We expected this to make a move to the upside. That is still possible. Okay, that move to the upside is still possible, but there's another possibility. We need to see this confirm upside here by our indicator needs to confirm for us that we are looking for upside here, but there is this possibility that this is another 3 waves and we're going to expect another 3 waves. If that happens, that means you've got a W, X, Y, X, Z. You've got an 11 swing sequence, so that means one more down and then upside. I am not expecting this, but if it does happen, we will know which structure it is for me. So for now, if we get an entry here, look to take that on euro pound. So euro pound will be very interesting in the next week. Euro Audi, look for upside. Okay, so last week we were looking at this on Euro Audi. We were looking for this to make a push to the downside here and make a bounce. Let me make this bigger. This is Euro Audi. Let's make it bigger and show what we expected last week. So last week, if you check out last week's video, you'll see that we were around, let's not use that one. We were around these levels. We expected this one to drop around this level and make a bounce to this level and then downside. So that structure would have been this. Would have been expecting this to continue to the downside, but it looks like we're going to get that bounce. We're looking for this one to make a push to the upside here. It will still play out that corrective structure, 1, 2, 3, and then downside. That is how we're looking at Euro Audi. All right, let's look at the rest. Euro New Zealand. Let's do EURCAD for now. Now EURCAD, we're the sell setup on EURCAD around this level. It looks like that will be invalidated because of the CAD. So let's have a look here. If it's breaking out with a clear move with enough volume here, we'll look for EURCAD to push to the upside, and that will invalidate our trade on EURCAD. So, but let's see, because this can still give us one more down. That means we're still in the trade, even if it pushes around up around those levels. That is EURCAD, EURCHF. Now, EURCHF, we broke out of this corrective structure with 5 waves. This is clear 5 waves on EURCHF. Makes a move to the upside. We have now dropped. Now we're looking for this to make a correction. This is a simple case of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, not that long. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, B, C, whichever corrective structure can form up here, around here. We look for this one to do that. Okay, so that is a EURCHF. Look out for some downside there. Euro New Zealand, the same as Euro Audi. We're expecting a bounce here. We've got a pulsing move here. A clear break above this, we'll see Euro New Zealand come reaches this level before coming down. Then it will be forming this corrective structure. That is Euro New Zealand. Let's look at the crosses. Audi New Zealand still looking for downside here. We may do this structure here and show continuation pattern like that. That is Euro Audi New Zealand, AUDJPY. Audi is still very strong, but here we may see this taking the top, making a move to the downside, and seeing this as a continuation pattern to the upside. If you look at this, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 on AUDJPY on that leg. AUDJPY, you can see the strength all around on the Audi pairs. So even if we do get this one as a pulsing move, a complex correction, one more down, and then upside, this is what we're going to be looking at. Our AUDJPY, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, similar to AUDJPY. So look for continuation patterns to the upside. New Zealand CAD, the CAD is weak. That's why you see all the pairs that have got the CAD as the quoted parent currency pushing up higher. But this will eventually give a deeper corrective structure. This is 1, 2, looks like a, let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be a 5 with the diagonal. Then we'll look for a pull to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, ABC corrective structure there. All right, so that is New Zealand CAD, New Zealand CHF, the same. Expect continuation pattern to the upside. We may see this one drop a little bit before pushing up higher. CADJPY. CADJPY, after we got the trade, this trade here that played out so quick, we're expecting these to make a correction and a continuation pattern to the downside. It is happening. Continuation patterns, you can keep selling them around this level. Now, that's all on the Forex pairs. Now, let's look at the indices. If you're looking at the indices, we're looking at this one as a flat corrective structure. There's the S&P 500, a pulsing move. Look for a corrective structure here. We're expecting the S&P 500 to keep pushing higher. These structures we've seen last week, so let me just show you the structure that we have been looking at on the site. It has not changed for a couple of days because it has been playing out exactly as we expected. Now let's have a look at the S&P 500 on the indices so you can see the sequence there. This is the forecast. As you can see, we're looking for this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 in the yellow degree. Look at the yellow degree. We're looking to complete that 5 in this yellow. So that continuation pattern is to go and complete the 5th wave. Now, the rest of the pairs, are exactly the same. That is the S&P 500, the Nasdaq. You can see the structure on the Nasdaq. We are in blue wave 4. We're looking for the Nasdaq to give us a corrective structure and continuation to the upside for that yellow wave 5. Okay, you can look at the sequence. I don't have to explain that. You can see a blue degree there. Let's make it all appear on the screen. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for the 5. That is on the Nasdaq. And then the Dow is exactly the same as the S&P 500. As you can see, we're looking for continuation to the upside after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in yellow. We're looking for now to complete the blue degree in wave 5. We are currently here. Look for continuation pattern to the upside. That is the Dow and the DAX. Let's have a look here. We're looking at all of them on the website. Before the DAX, let's look at the UK 100. The UK 100, we did not only just focus here. We're looking for a pullback now on the DAX. We'll be looking for this to continue to the upside. All right. That is the DAX. Look for continue, not the DAX, it's the UK 100. We focused on the UK 100. If you look at videos from 2-3 weeks back, we have been looking for this to drop and continue like that. It is playing out exactly as forecasted from a couple of weeks back. That is the UK 100. Let's look at lastly the DAX. Last week it looked like we're going to have a continuation pattern here. We still have that. Has not really confirmed, but we're still looking for it to continue to the upside to complete that yellow wave 5 as well. Okay, you can see that we're missing a 3 there. We're just looking for this to make 2, 3, and 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. There's 3 here, there's 4, and a 5. We'll be watching that on the DAX. All right, let's look at lastly on the indices. Nikkei, continuation pattern here on the 4-hour. We're looking for this on the Nikkei. We're looking for this to do that. You've got all that sequence. You can mark your charts as well and trade in the next week if we're looking for continuation to the upside into December. All right, that's all I have for you this week. Or we can look at the Nifty as well. Let's just have a look at the Nifty. There's nothing to look at on the indices, guys. It's just an impulse. Every pullback is a continuation to the upside. There is no sign of reversal yet. Look for continuation patterns to the upside. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit that notification button so you get an alert next time we post a video. Drop us a comment, drop us a like on the video. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Good luck. Cheers. Bye-bye.